and it is March 26, 2025. And today's video is for those attending the virtual edition of my Spring Fling class. And so we'll be going over the projects and I'll give you some directions. And then we got a couple things that we need to remind you about. And so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee or tea, whatever floats your boat, or a glass of wine. And let's get started here. So first of all, these are the supplies you're going to pretty much need for each project. You'll see them on the screen there. And we've got some dimensionals, scissors, tear tape. Tear tape is optional. There's one project that you might want to use it on. A take-a-pick tool, Scotch tape, and then whatever adhesive you like. You know, I like the liquid glue, and you see how I store it upside down. So that's what we're going to need for every project pretty much. I also have a little stamping mat, and you should have one in your box, a placemat basically. And then I have a paper piercing mat that I like to place this on top of. It helps with images, especially on those photopolymer stamps. So this first card is very soft and pretty. It would make a really good Easter card. If you don't have your Easter cards made yet, feel free to grab an Easter sentiment and stick that on here because it would be a good one for that. The designer series paper is from Country Lace DSP. And just a reminder that a lot of these papers are going to be retiring the beginning of May, so they're probably going to start selling out too. So if there's something you want, be sure you grab it in the next week or two to make sure that you get it. Now, if you look at your PFD, it will tell you exactly what colors I used, so you can grab those too. This one is Petal Pink, and the stamp set that I used is called Hugs for Love. Hugs for Love, and it is actually a bundle. It's in the Spring Mini catalog. It comes with this beautiful punch. Currently, this is on back order, but it's due to come back around April 14th. So if you were interested in purchasing it, and you've let me know that, I've got you on a list, and as soon as it comes back, I'll let you know. I check it every couple of days. Okay, so let's get into our envelope and see what we got, and let's get started. All right, I'm going to push these things kind of out of the way so I have a little more workspace. Be careful when you open up this particular envelope, and actually all the projects. I try to pack them so that your little embellishments don't go flying out, and if you're careful, that should work. You've got two punch outs, one for the center, and then these are both halves, and then you should have some DSP and your card base, and that's a Petal Pink card base. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Before I glue it down, I need to attach my ribbon, and you can either use glue dots or Scotch tape to attach your ribbon, whatever you prefer. I really like Scotch tape. I find it easier to use than glue dots, and it might just be my hands and fingers. They're starting to not like to paper craft as much as the rest of my body does, or maybe my brain. On the liquid glue, always keep it maybe about 1/4 of an inch in. That way it won't seep over and end up on your card. All right, we've got that all all glued. So we'll just put that off to the side. And then while it's kind of setting up, we'll go ahead and do our stamping. So I'm going to bring my placemat in and then my mat, because this is a photopolymer stamp set. Now, if you don't have the Hugs for Love, then I have some suggestions. You can find a different border stamp that you could put on the outside of this, or you could just sponge the edges with a sponge or the blending brush, or you could just leave it plain. It's really up to you, but you could go around the edges with maybe a border stamp too, or even just catch edges of some flower stamp or fernery or greenery or whatever. But if you have this, then go ahead and stamp the frame. And then you'll notice that I used gray on the for the sentiment. So I forgot to get my gray pad out. Let me grab that. I'll just use this basic gray spot. And on this one, I've got several choices. So I've got sending you a big hug. Thank you. Like I said, it would make a nice sympathy card or a nice Easter card. I'm just going to do hello friend on this one. And that way I can leave it kind of generic for, you know, whenever I decide what I'm going to use it for. I can put happy birthday or thinking of you or anything like that. So that goes there. We'll leave that over there. Now these we're going to cut in half. And I just cut them right. Let's see, I got to think about this. We don't want to do it that way because you want the peak. Yeah, I have to cut it here. Okay, now we'll glue all these things down. So one of the halves goes on the top corner and the other goes on the lower corner. I'm going to close this before I do something that I will regret. Okay, and then the center one, I used a dimensional to pop it up. I'm still working on the dimensional sheet from the February paper pumpkin. If you got the February paper pumpkin, we got this humongous sheet of dimensionals. And this is what I have left right now. So I'm still trying to finish that up. I love how generous they are. Okay, and then just kind of center that up over the ribbon. Now, where did my little embellishments go? All right, here they are. So we'll grab those off. And the Take a Pic tool helps with that. These are new embellishments. They're really pretty. Let's see what those are called. They are called low profile dots. So there's quite a few new products in the online exclusives and in the mini catalog with these lower profiles. So I'm trying to purchase more of those just so we don't have mailing issues. When things get bumpy, then the post office likes to charge us more. Okay, so that's that first one. Let me put these things away, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, this next card is kind of fun. It is shaped like a butterfly. And the designer series paper that I used on this one is called Wildly Flowering designer series paper. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll talk to you a little bit more about how we did this here in just a second. So I used the bundle. This is in the Spring Mini Catalog. It's called Beautiful Butterflies. And it has this one die in it that actually has a little line on it. So when you cut it, you undercut it, just you go a little bit higher on the DSP, and then it creates a fold. So your card ends up looking like a butterfly. It's shaped like a butterfly. Let me just show you how I did that. And then the inside white, I just cut a piece, just one piece, so that it could be lined, because paper is pretty busy. You wouldn't be able to write over it. So here's what you do. The paper is 5 by 7, so you can get 3 butterflies out of one sheet of DSP. You fold it in half, like that, and then you take the die, and so you can kind of see it's got a little reminder there on the top, and you just want that, when you run it through your machine, you want all of that to be the DSP to be under that so that you have that fold. If you put it up like this, then it's going to cut too. It'll cut all the way through. So you don't want to do it that way. You want it to be just under this line right here on the die, and then it will cut and give you a little fold there. So it's just the perfect size. Then there's a couple other dies from this set too that are used on this project. So we have this long label and then another little butterfly. So all the dies came from here, and so did the stamps. So you've got several choices on the stamps. And I know a few of you have this bundle, so it's a pretty good one. Okay, so let's get this. Now this one I used Moody Mauve on, and your DSP might be a little different than mine. I'm using up all that DSP from that Wildly flowering one, so it might be a little bit different. Moody Mauve will go good. Boho Blue will go good if you have a piece that looks more like that. Wild Wheat will look good. It's really the things from the 2023 to 2025 in colors will go quite well with whatever paper you have, which reminds me that these in colors are retiring, and the last day to order those is May 5th or while supplies last. So it's possible like re-inkers and cardstock and stuff like that might go out of stock before the catalog ends. So kind of keep that in mind. If you haven't gotten your re-inkers yet or coordinating cardstock, you might want to do that sooner rather than later. All right, let me get my kit out now that I've showed you that. So this is what your kit looks like, and this is a very smaller card. So the regular letter envelopes that you can just purchase anywhere fit the card pretty well. It was kind of swimming in a regular envelope, a regular invitation envelope. So I chose this to use. Watch your little pieces because you got butterflies and you got ribbon and you got the label and you got some embellishments. These are also from that low profile dots that I showed you on the last project. It's the other half. It comes in 2 colors. So this is what the inside of this one looks like. You could probably write on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and line it with that. So we'll start with that. And if it doesn't quite fit, you can take your paper snips and trim it a little bit. Sometimes if the die moves when you're running it through, it might get off just a little bit. I tried to be super careful with that. But sometimes things get out of my control. This one fits pretty good, lines up pretty good. Yeah, you don't see anything. So if you see anything, just take your scissors and trim around the edge or leave it there. It doesn't, it's not really a big deal. Okay, we're gonna do another birthday card. I'm kind of low on birthday cards. I'm low on sympathy cards. So I'm gonna kind of focus on those today. So we'll stamp happy birthday on the banner. And then on the inside of the card, this is also from the stamp set, it says time to celebrate. So I'm going to put that in here in the middle. This would be such a cute card for a little girl, a granddaughter, or a daughter, or, anybody's going to love this. All right, now we have this ribbon, and yours is probably going to be different. You might have Moody Mauve, you might have Boho Blue. I tried to give you a coordinating ribbon, but here's a little trick that I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out. I've always taught you, and I've always glued or taped things directly to the piece. Well, if you tape it to the label instead, you don't have to worry about the tape showing through. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. But now, if any tape is showing through, just fold it over. Yeah, that's not turning out too well. Let's try this again. I think I need skinnier tape. So I'll trim that. So So it's holding it down well enough now that I can deal with it. And I'm going to put some dimensionals behind it. So put one on each end and one in the middle there. So I'm using the dimensional to attach the rest of the ribbon. All right, and then we kind of put this in the center of the card. And then on the butterfly, you can use whatever side you want. I like this side, so I'm going to use that. You can put a little dab of glue on it. You can use a little tiny edge of a dimensional. I think I'll do that. The edges are perfect for these little tiny pieces that you don't want a full-size dimensional on because you don't want to see it. And then we have our embellishments. So we'll put one on the end here somewhere, and then you can put one on the butterfly if you want, or you can put it on the other end, whatever you feel like doing. All right, isn't that cute? Gosh, what a cute little card. I got a couple granddaughters, so I'm going to save those for my granddaughters. All right, let me get this stuff put away, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now we have this cute little pocket card. And I thought this would be a really good guy card, but it also could be a female card. It does pull up like this, and then you have some DSP to glue down, and it holds a gift card. So that's kind of cool, and then you open it up on the inside. When you open this particular project up, you've got two pieces of white. The lighter computer paper goes on the inside, that's your liner, and then the smaller piece, which is cardstock, that's what you put your pocket in. I'm going to actually make this as a graduation card, but I will show you how I did this cupcake. So I'm using, and this is from the annual catalog, it's called Pocket Thoughts, and it's the dies, and then you've got the coordinating stamp set. We have a grandchild that's graduating in May, so I'm actually going to make the diploma, and then you do the yay for you. So I can use that for her graduation. We always give them cash or a gift card, so that will work perfect. I can kind of make it a little bit nicer of a presentation. All right, so when you pull this out, there's no little dies or anything like that, or little embellishments, but you do have a lot of pieces. So let's get them out and sorted and discussed. Okay, so we've got the pocket, you've got your circles, you've got your little tab, you got some ribbon. All right, here's those two white pieces. So let's get this stamped first. And I used basic gray on this. And actually, I'm going to leave this blank for now because I'm going to put that yay for you on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this in. Okay, now on the pocket, you're going to fold in, find the folds, and fold them in. Now, you can either use, if you have tear tape, to adhere it, or you can use the liquid glue, or if you have a different kind of adhesive, you should be able to use that too. This is a little bit narrow, and I'm a little worried about the glue running over, so I'm going to use tear tape. And I have tons of tear tape here. There seems to always be leftover from the paper pumpkin kits too. I probably have like 10 rolls of it. It's crazy. But that can be ordered if you don't have any. But if you're a paper pumpkin subscriber, you probably are like me and you have all these partial used rolls that they've given us. Oh, I'm sorry, I bumped the camera. Okay, so now on the tear tape, we're going to tear that off. Or peel that off. I guess we're not tearing it. And then we're going to set it on the front of the card, and I just kind of centered it. All right. Now, let's go ahead and and your pocket might look a little different. You can use whatever side of the paper you'd like. I'm going to use, I don't know, I like both of them. On the pocket, you only want to glue down 3 sides because you want to be able to slide the gift card or whatever you are enclosing. You could put cash in here or a check or a small gift. So you want that side to be open so you can slide that gift card in. All right, let's work on the circle and this. Okay, so for the tab, you can just leave yours plain unless you have the keeping tabs stamp set. I have that because it included the stamp set as well as the punch. So here's the punch. So this is a bundle, and this is also from the annual catalog. And let me go ahead and get that stamp out. Oh, there we go. All right. So you can either use Going Gray, which is what I used, or Basic Gray, or this is Early Espresso that I used on the cupcake. You could use that, or you could use Crumb Cake, or you can just leave this plain. It doesn't actually need to be stamped if you don't have the stamp set. You could also decorate it with a border stamp, or just by sponging the edges, or using your blender pen. Not blender pen, blender brush. There's lots of ways to jazz this up if you want to, but it's fine if you just leave it plain too. Whatever you would like. Okay. Now, this goes on the top of the insert for the pocket, and you want it to go pretty much even. So you want the folded part to pop up. So you want this kind of pretty much even with the paper. Then it pops up just enough that you can see it and grab it. And we can use the glue, or we can use more tear tape if we want. I probably should start really using up this tear tape. Honestly, I have so many rolls of it, and they're all just like partial. So it's kind of dumb to keep saving them. Oh, I want this to be on the front. Okay. Now, I already told you I'm making this as a graduation card for my granddaughter. So I'm going to use the Yay You. And then we have the little diploma. So I'm going to stamp that in the center of the white. And you could stamp anything in here you want. I'm going to show you in a minute how I did the cupcake. Yeah, I think I'll try that again. It's not showing enough. There we go, that's better. Okay, I'll leave that out. And then I'll glue this to this. All right, and then here is our ribbon. So I'm going to tape that back to the back. And then we need some dimensionals to attach it. Oh, that moved. That's, when I turned it over, the glue hadn't set up enough, so it moved a little bit. Okay, now on this, I'm going to stamp the Yay You, Yay for You. And then we'll just stick the gift card or cash, whatever we decide to do, inside. And then it just slides into the pocket. And you pull it up and down. Isn't that adorable? There we go. Okay, let's talk about the cupcake, because we haven't, I don't think, ever talked about this before. So if you choose the cupcake, if you have this, or you have any kind of two-step stamping, this is what you do with that. So you have these two stamps. We have the actual cupcake. So I'm going to stamp that in the basic gray, and I'm just going to stamp it on my scrap here. And then we have the frosting. So that I'm going to stamp an early espresso, because who doesn't like chocolate frosting? And I'm using a little spot. And then you just stamp that right on top of the cupcake, and it adds the frosting in there. Isn't that cute? And actually, it's making me really hungry. It must be getting close to lunchtime. Okay, let's see here. I think we got everything done on this one. So let me put all this to the side, and we'll move on to the next one. And that is this one. Now, I've kind of worked you guys pretty hard, so having a simple one with this one. Taking a little break. This one uses the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper. It's gorgeous, and it's one of the in colors for this year, Peach Pie. So I think most of you guys have that. If you were at my in color class last spring, then you have this. And then these fun little things, oh my gosh, I love these. They're called Starburst sequins, and they're just so cute. So be careful when you open your packet up to get your sequins out. These are actually another online exclusive item. So if you check those online exclusives, they're bringing things out every other month, and these are things that don't appear in the catalog. I try to always put it on my Facebook page and on my blog, so you know when they're being released, but it is every other month. So the next one will be in May. All right, so you have 2 pieces of DSP, and those just need to be glued together and then placed in the middle of the card. This DSP is so pretty. I love it. All right, and then you have your very vanilla punch out. We have our little sequins here. I used the sketch butterfly for the sentiments on this one. So I've got the thank you. I think I'll make this one a birthday card. And because I like this stamp from the birthdays, from that one. It says, wishing you a beautiful birthday. So ink it up with the peach pie. Awesome. And then we'll get these little sequin guys on here. And then we'll attach this ribbon to the back. This is a great way to use up. You know how sometimes you finish a roll of a spool of ribbon and you just have just a smidgen left. It's not really anything you can tie a bow with or whatever. This is a great way to use those up. Just add them behind a punch. And then we'll just pop these up on some dimensionals and attach it to the card, and we're done. So that was a quick little card. I just thought you might deserve a little break from all the more complicated cards. Okay, so that's that one. All right, let's move on. This one have, this also holds a gift card. And I thought this might be really cute for Mother's Day or an upcoming birthday. This particular bundle is also an online exclusive, and it is called Grow with Love. And I love herbs, so I really think this is a fun little bundle. Has this cute little, makes this cute little envelope. And then I use that for the die, for the center, and then we've got the rosemary. So I am going to show you how to make this without using that bundle because I don't think any of you have it. I might be wrong about that, but I didn't see it. I don't recall seeing it on anybody's orders. So when you pull this out, there's a lot of little bits and pieces. Be really careful with that. You're going to need those little tiny bits. So this is the rosemary. And then this piece is how you make the closure for the back of the envelope. You have a little bow for the middle of the herb. You have this little thing and this little thing, and these are how you make the closures. And then you have a little tiny, tiny, tiny piece that looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. It goes on top of these. There should be 2 of them. And it's probably not at the end of the world if you can't find that, but I made sure everybody's was in there. Okay, so let's pull this out and this out. So you have this piece to stamp on. So what I did for this one, and I'm not going to do it because I want to show you an optional way, was I stamped this directly on the white cardstock, and then I die cut it with the die. Since most of you don't have that, I'm going to suggest that you, unless you do have it, you look in your stamps and find something that looks like a fern. And we'll make this look like rosemary. Now this particular stamp came from the Paper Pumpkin Kit Nest of Christmas, which I think came out in November of 2024. Oh, there we go. Some of it's just upside down. So I know a lot of you have it because the majority of you are Paper Pumpkin subscribers. If you don't, though, just look in your stamps. You'll find something, I'm sure. Or you can just sponge it or use a blending brush. But I just kind of think this will work to make it kind of look like rosemary. Here we go. Okay. And you can stamp a little sentiment down here if you'd like, or you can leave it blank. I'm going to leave it blank for now because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. And then I use dimensionals to attach this to the piece, the layer. And then this gets glued to the little card base. I think this would be so cute if you gave somebody like a rosemary plant or a basil plant. Wouldn't it just be so cute to include this? I mean, you don't have to put a gift card or anything like that in there. You could just make a little note. Okay, now I've got this little tiny ribbon or bow or twine, and I just realized I forgot to get my glue dots out. So let me grab one of those really quickly. This seems to be the best way to hold these little ribbons on. Okay, so there's that. All right, now let's talk about how to, let me close this up before we have a collision. Close up the envelope. Okay, this is where that tear tape's going to come in handy again. Again, you can use glue if you'd like. It's up to you. On these little packages and stuff, especially if you're putting anything heavier in them, I feel like the tear tape is a better option. It's also because you're working close to edges, it's a little easier to work with. It doesn't ooze over to the sides. Okay, now the fun begins. All right, so we've got it all folded up. And what you want to do is kind of line these up. You can use glue, but you have to be really careful because you need some room back there for this twine to wrap. So I like to use the edge of a dimensional. Now you're going to see the dimensional through this, which isn't really a big deal, especially if you use these little guys to cover it. But even if you don't use those little guys to cover it, you can't really see it. I wouldn't stress out about too much about that. Okay, we're going to put that there. And that there. Okay, now I'm going to wrap it. And your twine might be a different color. I have a lot of different twines in the basket today, or in the drawer for class. So I just used whatever I thought would look good. So yours might be red, or it might be green, or it might be blue. Your bow might be different. If you drop just a little glue in that hole, and you can use your take-a-pick tool to move this little tiny piece. Set it in there. I feel like this might be a two-handed job. It's not want to come off. Stay. Yay! All right. You could also use a glue dot if you didn't want to lose the glue back here. Okay. All right. Isn't that adorable after you get the hard work done? All right, so that was 5 projects. And guess what? You got a bonus project this month. So we've got a little treat holder. And it looks like this. I found these cute little treats at Costco, and so I bought those, and I thought, let's just make an extra little project for everyone. So this is Lemon Lime Twist, and the Happy Easter came from the February paper pumpkin kit. So I know most of you have that, but if you don't have it, look for a smaller stamp. It doesn't have to be Easter. It could be, I've got another one that I'm going to use here. And I'll show you in a minute. So this is what I did. It's all scored for you. You're just going to fold it up. And then I put a couple of dimensionals back here to hold the treat in. I just wanted the bunny kind of peeking out. You can move them up or down however you want. You just tie this ribbon. I tied it off to the side. And then you trim it however you want, however much you want. Okay, and then you need to stamp this. So I'm going to put hello on this one and use it for something else, and it gives you a different idea if you don't want to use it for Easter. And I am using the Lemon Lime Twist ink pad, but you can use another pastel color if you want, or red, because the ribbon is red. It would probably look good, and the treat is actually red. If you're coming to class, you might actually be using a different color, because I tried to match the bunnies. So some bunnies are Lemon Lime Twist, some were Balmy Blue, and some were a yellow. But all of the virtual attendees got the Lemon Lime Twist. Okay, and we're going to put a couple dimensionals on that. And we'll be done. All right, isn't that cute? All right, now I have one more thing. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber this month, you got an extra project. So March is Paper Pumpkin's birthday, and every year Paper Pumpkin gives us a gift. And so this year they gave us a stamp set, which is awesome. And I'm giving you an extra project. So you will find in your kit all of the ingredients to make this card. I'm not going to go through the card because it's super easy, but you'll take your Paper Pumpkin stamps and you'll use the Lost Lagoon spot that you got. And then this is crushed curry. You can use any yellow that you have or just make it blue. So you'll stamp those. Again, this is using the March 2025 Paper Pumpkin stamps. And then just your sentiment, and then pop it all together. So it's super easy. It is on the PFD document. I'm just not going to go through it with you because not everybody was a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, and it's pretty darn easy. Okay, that is it for class this month. If you have any questions or you need any help or anything, reach out and let me know. I have a couple more things that I just want to remind you about. First of all, both of these catalogs are ending May 5th. So the annual and then the mini catalog end May 5th. So that, with that being said, things are going to start running out of these two catalogs, so you'll want to order sooner than later. The last chance list comes out on April 1st, so that will tell us what is actually retiring. There will probably be some items on sale, so you'll want to watch for that. I'll post that stuff on my blog for you and on my Facebook page. And again, just a reminder, those are while supplies last. If you are coming to class in April, so that will be my annual Fond Farewell class, you'll get your new annual catalog at that class towards the end of April. Look in your text and you'll see an invite to Fond Farewell. And then if you're not coming in person, then your kit will be, or your new catalog will come to you in the mail. And again, it will be towards the end of April. So it doesn't start till May 6th, so you'll be fine. You'll have it and you'll have plenty of time. It's beautiful. I've gotten a sneak peek at it, so I can't wait for you guys to see it. All right, I hope everyone has a really good time with their kits. I'm sorry the video is a little bit longer than usual, but I hope that you have fun, and if you have any questions, like I said, reach out. All right, take care, everyone. I hope to see you next month.